Well, good morning. How is everybody doing? Look at this fabric. This fabric is so lovely. So what I'm doing now is just getting the fabric and pinning it to see how long I want it. So I'm going to make a little like tube dress, and I am going to make it have a little ruches on one side on the outer layer. So when you do that to make the dress ruche like this, you sew it down. You sew the stitch down. Once I get it even to where it needs to be, I will sew the stitch down on the outside to make it do this. So I'm going to make it a little shorter because I'm going to need the bottom of this dress to finish with the lining in the inside of the top, because I'm going to make a little interfacing and make it a little stiff. So I'm cutting it down. It's probably still could take a little bit more off the top to do what I need to do. So hope y'all having an awesome morning. But I love, and this is a spandex fabric. I love this fabric. It's like a 3D type fabric. So when I tell you I love it, I really truly love it. When I saw it in the fabric store, I was like, oh, I have to have this. So yes, so that's what I'm doing. I'm starting to assemble this one. But just look at this fabric. Oh my goodness, I love it. It's spandex, but you see how it have all these nice colors and stuff in it. So yeah. So if you wanted to have like the ruches like this, and I don't have everything in the right spot a lot of times when I start doing it, so actually it need to be over a little bit more. So I just would kind of start pinning it to see. But yeah, the dress gonna kind of be something like that. And it's, oh my goodness, it's gonna be so beautiful. Alrighty. Okay, so we're about to add interfacing to the pieces. And don't leave it on here too long because of the type of fabric it is. I'm not for sure, you know, about the fabric, so don't leave it on too long. So we're fusing all of the pieces. I probably should have tested a piece first before I just upped and tried this technique, because of the way the fabric is made, if it can even take heat. But to give my top piece a good structure, so I'm putting the interfacing in here. Let's see. Okay, it don't look like it's shrinking it or doing nothing to it. I just gotta let the iron get a little bit more hotter. So yeah, let me get my coffee. You know what I did with my coffee? Oh, here it go. When you go all through the house, you forget where your stuff at. So we're gonna fuse all of the pieces together with the interfacing so it can have more structure to it. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. I think my granddaughter's coming over today. Her mom got some stuff to do, so I think she'll be over. I think she said Thursday. Sometimes your day goes so busy and you forget. So yeah, I'm just fusing all of the pieces of interface into my bias piece. And then I'll start to put these pieces together. And then I have to clean up some of the edges. Probably should have got some smaller scissors because it's kind of over. So just clean up. And this is fleece fusible interfacing that I got off of Amazon. So it's going to give it more, make it more structure when I use the fleece interface. And so I'm just going to iron all the pieces, and then the next step is to connect them together. And I find that doing it this way is better than, because I used to iron all my pieces, then at the end I'll put the interfacing in, but I realize if you put it in before, it's a whole lot better. Yeah, if you do it that way. And make sure you put it on the right sides. Feel for the ridges, and you'll know that that's the side that goes down. And then I'm going to flip it over, not so on the actual side of the fabric, but the other side. So, there we go. I'll get all this done. So, fusing the pieces together. And then I'll take them and attach them together. So, yeah, this is the simple part. And then any excess, just cut it off. Sometimes you can cut it too big. When you normally, like a lot of times people cut their stuff at one time, and then they get a perfect match. Where's the other piece? I'm missing a piece. It's supposed to be two of these. Where's my piece? Here we go. Flipped on his own. Said, I'm finna flip on you. So, okay, I'm just going to keep ironing these pieces, and then we'll start to attach them together. I'll be back. Okay, so now that we have all of the pieces done with the interface, and we'll start putting it together. So you pin it right sides together, and we'll pin all this together. And then we'll take it to the sewing machine and sew it down. So you see, it's starting to come together. This fabric is so beautiful. Wow. It's so beautiful. And this one was only $14.99 a yard. Real pretty. And I only got a yard because I knew I was just going to make a little bitty simple mini dress. I wasn't going to make nothing, you know, too. Alexa, turn on the plug. Okay. I wasn't going to make nothing too over the top. So let me assemble all this together, and then I'll stitch it together and I'll come back. Okay, so as you can see, I have all of my layers pinned together. So now I'm just gonna go and sew them down on the sewing machine. So all of the interfacing is pinned together, and now it's time to go and sew these pieces together. So I hope that I'm explaining my stuff a lot better. So I'm trying. So you see how it gives it more stiffness. So I'm gonna go stitch all this together, and I'm gonna add boning. So after well, let me go do that first, and then I'll come back and we'll talk about the boning. So I'm trying to do more detailed videos where to be helping you guys to understand. All right, I'll be back. Okay, so now we have all of the pieces secured together. I open up each one of the seams, and now what I'm going to do, we're going to do the measurements, and we're going to put boning in it. So this is how you keep your main piece to have like the nice stiffness. This is just, that's just a lining shell. So when I'm putting the boning, I don't want to go too far up and too far down, so when you connecting it, it don't poke you, because the boning will have the tendency to poke you if you put it way up, because you have to sandwich these two pieces together. So I would say leave an inch from the top and an inch from the bottom, because that's what'll wind up happening. The boning will poke you. So I'm gonna do one of these for y'all, and then I'm gonna finish it up. Okay, so you see that? I got the one piece of boning, and I'm sewing it directly to the bias piece. So I'm going to continue to sew these down, and then the next step will be attaching the lining. So I'm going to get offline and finish sewing this down, but I just kind of wanted to, you know, show y'all the steps that I take to get this done. So, okay, I'll be back. Bye-bye. Okay, so all of the boning and interfacing is secured on each layer. So now we're going to get the lining piece, and we're going to attach this together, and then I'm gonna have to draft the skirt. The skirt is not cut, it's just kind of pinned on here, so I'm gonna have to get that drafted and get together and stuff like that. So we're gonna do the lining piece. So we're gonna do the same thing with the lining piece. I'm using the same fabric as the lining, so when you look in the inside of the dress, instead of this white side showing, it is going to be the same fabric in the inside of the dress. And with this being a spandex, I'm not going to put a lining in the bottom of the dress. We're just going to leave it. It's a spandex fabric, so we're not going to add a lining to that. So clothes is like a puzzle. You do all your connecting pieces, however you cut for the lining, for the interfacing, for whatever, they all identical, then we connect them. So I'm going to sew the lining, and then we'll connect that together, and then we'll go to working on the skirt. We'll work on the skirt to how we want the skirt to be. Okay. So I'm starting to connect the lining. So when we connect the lining, we connect them right sides together, because when you flip it over, you need it to be right sides together. So I'm just putting all the lining pieces together, and then we're going to sew these together. Okay. Okay, so I got all of the pins up on the top. So what I'm going to do is I actually start from here and I start sewing it all the way around, going all the way around until I get to the other side and down, then I flip it over. So I'll be back. Okay, so now I got it all sewn together. So now what we do, so we don't have none of this stuff in the way, we will cut off any excess at the top that when we go to roll this over, that it would interfere with us getting a clean, smooth finish. So anything, some people do slits in it, but when I be doing my slits, sometimes I've cut, they'll do it this way. And the scissors be so big, I've cut into the fabric, so I don't like doing that method. So I'm just going around cutting as close to the rollover as I can. See all this excess, we're gonna cut all that off because when we roll it over, we want it to be a nice finish. So that's what I'm doing. Just cleaning up the edge. So when I roll this over, and that's one of the reasons why we didn't want the boning to be up at the top too close and too close to the bottom. Okay, so now we got all of the parts and we're gonna flip it. I missed a whole stitch. Let me see that I missed a whole stitch. Or I just cut it loose. I probably just cut it loose. That's what I was saying. When you're doing that, be careful cutting, because you can definitely cut the whole thing loose. Okay, so then we flip it. Okay, I missed a stitch up there, or I cut it loose. So you see that? I got to go back and fix. I missed a couple stitching at the top. So you got to get right on that line, because when you go to flip it over, if it's not secure. So let me fix all that, and then I'll come back. I need to take my time and focus. All right. Okay, so now I'm flipping it, back outer. Okay. So now it's sandwiched in between. I got the lining on there and everything. So now what I'm going to do is secure these pieces together. So what I'm going to do now is take a top stitch and go all the way around, 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 and then also close off the bottom. So the lining is in there now. So I'm going to take a top stitch. We're going to secure all this around, and then we're even going to secure the bottom so that it's not moving around like that. So let me go ahead and secure these pieces, and I will be back. As you can see, this is what it looks like after you have secured the boning, the interfacing, and everything. This is what it looks like. So now I'm going to stop to make me some breakfast, and then we will draft the skirt. And I need to figure out what ties I'm gonna have for the back of this. Okay, so we got the top done, and this gives it more, because this is a very little, you know, the spandex fabric. So you see what the interfacing and the boning and stuff does to it. So now I'm going to take a break. I'm going to get me something to eat, and I love this fabric. After I get something to eat, we're going to work on the skirt portion. So I just kind of got it pinned on here. So we're going to work on the skirt, and then we need to figure out what ties I can use to have, you know, for the back of the dress. But this would be a really cute little sexy mini dress you can wear with. You see how, like, with all of these colors, you can get away with any color shoes, because all of the color, they got orange, they got green, they got red, they got black, they got all of these nice colors. So now the last thing to do is draft the skirt. And I got to get a zipper in there, and we got to find something to tie it across. But you see that? This fabric has a 4-way. So very pretty. Very, very pretty. Very pretty fabric. I'm trying to, this way has the most spandex, so that's what I'm trying. This way has less. See that? So I'm trying to get it while I have the most spandex to expand this fabric. Okay, so that way will be the best way. But I'm gonna stop, make me something to eat, and then I'll come back and worry about this. But yeah, I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna use the spandex. So you want it to go with more of the stretch. So more, let me just stop because I'm gonna cut it crooked, because I only got this a little bit left. So a lot of times when you keep going, you mess up. Okay, so let me stop and I'll see y'all in a little bit.